19th of November 2024 will go down in gaming history as the day that Microsoft and Xbox simultaneously fucked one of their biggest IPs. And not only did they fuck it, but they fucked everybody else who downloaded it too. We're talking about the immense and serious problems that occurred when we tried to play Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So I'm based in Belfast in Ireland, and we would be on UK time, and the game was released at 4 p.m. on the 19th of November. I started installing it around 5 p.m, tried to launch it up. It got to 97%, and by that stage I hadn't read any of the comments that were circulating on Twitter or on Reddit or even on Steam or anything like that. And I then went and restarted it because I had thought, hey, it must be hanging if it's at 97%. I restarted it and still ran into the same issue. I started my stream then on Twitch at around 6 p.m. and discovered at that time that it seems the whole flight sim community that was streaming were all having the same issue, and it's become a meme now. 97% Windows loading simulator and all the rest of it, and that's essentially what we got. Several hours later, we got a few rubbish tweets, to be honest, from flight sim support groups saying, you know, that they were working on the issues. Other people were saying don't restart. Some people were saying do a restart. I got fed up after a few hours, man. I'm doing a restart, and I ended up in a login queue to which it lost then for another couple of hours. Fast forward 7 hours later, and I finally got into the game, and it was around, it must have been around 1 a.m. or something like that, maybe just after that. I got into the game, and I was able to do a bit of a fly around, and in certain places it looked fantastic. So it did. It did, and the frame rate was amazing. The performance was great. It looked fantastic. And then it just stopped working as well. And in between these periods, loads of people couldn't get on as well. Gamers were commenting that they would spawn in and they would only have 2 planes available for selection, not the whole host of planes that they were promised. Other people just couldn't get in at all. I finished around 4 a.m. in the morning, and when it came on the next day, still I was having trouble loading in, and then when it loaded in, it was like the performance got worse. Discovered then that nothing was calibrated in all my throttles. I used the TCA Airbus condition. There was no profiles at all for that. It didn't even recognize that. I had to try and set all my key bindings. I've only managed to get some working. Then we were getting crashed to desktops. Then we would get the graphics would just take an absolute, turn for the worse, and it would look like a PlayStation 2 game or a PS1 game. It was brutal. We were getting mod server issues. We've really discovered that everything is rendered by the server. The marketplace is disabled because their excuse is they wanted third-party developers to have enough time to get their shit together so that the first-party developers in the marketplace wouldn't have an advantage on them. I spell nonsense with that. There's no way then to install the actual scenery into your game because they've disabled the marketplace where that option should be available for things that were bought on the marketplace. So you can't even do that either. Everything is streamed. I have a 500 meg connection with a 70 meg upload speed. I should not have issues doing this. And I was the only one in the house using it too at the time, so it's not like I was being bottlenecked anywhere else. So these are problems with the servers. Now, some people will say, well, the game's only released. You need to give it a bit of time. But I say, no, fuck that. What sort of a precedent are we setting here for gaming companies where we don't have stuff that is ready by day one? We're telling people effectively here that you can release a half-finished game, but just trust the process, and in 6 months to a year's time, we'll release enough updates and it will work. That's just not on with me. That is not a solid business model to have, and that's something that unfortunately PC gaming has become far too used to over the last 10 years, when early access games were allowed to thrive in a hope that somewhere down the lane the game will be fixed. Daisy, I'm looking at you for that. I remember that model. I don't agree with that model. I think that model is nonsense. So I think it gives devs and publishers, but publishers in particular, a way out, and I'm just not happy with that. The rating was on the wall a while back when we saw the Tech Alpha released. We had a lot of things to say about that. The Tech Alpha being released just over a month before the release of the game. No beta was done for this whatsoever, and the dev streams were less than convincing that they had on YouTube. And then, as I say, it gets to the day of, and it's just an absolute disaster. People have paid fortunes for this. You had Aerosoft not even be able to deliver the Aviator Edition, which is expensive anyway, limited and expensive, and so they didn't get that. So there's that whole debacle. All these major red flags. People have taken time off work. I took time off work. Some people took a week off work. Actually, a lot of people took a week off work just for this game. That's their precious annual leave time, their holidays, essentially all fucked up. It's not on. It's bad practice. Microsoft and Xbox and everyone else involved. It's just bad all around. I just got fed up on my stream and started playing other games. Some people were just stuck on loading screens 7-8 hours at a time. It's nonsense. Need to do better. I actually hope to pull the game completely. I wish they'd just come out and been honest with us and said, here, do you know what? The game's not ready yet. This is effectively a beta port. I would have appreciated it a lot more, but they didn't. They sold this thing like it was ready to go, but they'll still continually support it with updates because it's a 10-year plan and all that stuff. They lied. Other gaming companies have done similar and their products have been pulled. I think with the amount of Steam negative reviews, of which you'll see it actually says it's overwhelmingly negative, and deservedly so, that they should think about pulling this game for at least another 6 months till they can get it in some state, and then when it's in some state, release a beta and then take 3 months of that, get the feedback from that and go, here, do you know what, now we're actually ready to go. Also refund everybody that paid for the fucking game. I got it on Game Pass, so it's no real skin off my nose, but you know, even so, I expect something to be ready. This is a bad business model. Sets a terrible precedent for the future of gaming, of which they keep talking about cloud-based stuff and digital, and it's just nonsense. So it is, and I'm just at a point now where I'm just going to wait and not even bother playing it. But look, I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on it. Let me know, guys, what you thought about it as well. How was your experience? Mine was rubbish. Let me know what you think anyway in the comments below. I appreciate that. See you later.